Weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer.
Blitz is on. Taylor picks it up. Fires. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Canadian Football League Grey Cup champion.
Taylor again, wide open.
First team All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
5 for Steve Taylor. That is a new Nebraska record.
All righty, it's the black shirt. I'm invading the small talk or the whatever talk, the weekly rap session with Steve Taylor.
That's right.
Yeah, if Steve would have played with me, I would have sacked Steve every day at practice. He doesn't have enough speed. He tried to send me a video one time of him scooting around. I said, Steve, you're not on my level, Steve. I'll get you. But Steve's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
I like Steve. Pretty good athlete, baseball player, great golf player, great person to be around. If you know him, I know Steve good, and like I told you the other day, Bach, I knew he was gonna say something about my grass because I know he told you already.
Yeah, he does. He already does. He gives me an update on your grass just about every time.
Yeah, because he's one of those guys. I told you he was out there one time. It was like 105 degrees, Bach. I said, man, Steve must be crazy today or something. Is the heat affecting him? Because he was out there in 105 degrees out there. And you know how I know? Because he comes by my window every time I'm asleep and he cuts the grass.
Oh, he wakes you up?
Yeah, I said, you got to get you one of those electric lawnmowers so I can't hear it.
That's right.
So, but Bach, I got some breaking news, not really breaking news, but Utah State is set to fire Coach Blake Anderson, placed on administrative leave amid non-compliance with the title. What is it?
Title IX.
Title IX.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah, Utah State informed Coach that he has 14 days to reply to it. This all comes down to Deputy Director Jerry Bowie, who serves as interim athletic director in 2023, and directors of player development Austin Something has been already fired for violation of university policies related to reporting of sexual and domestic violence and failure of professional responsibilities. The defensive end and defensive coordinator Nate Darling, who was hired in January, will serve as the interim president.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If you remember Blake Anderson, I think in the Nebraska, I have to go back and look at, I think as the Arkansas State head coach, and he did well enough there, 51-37 record, to get over to Utah State and had a successful 2021. They finished ranked in the top 25, 11-3. The last couple of years now going 6-7. It is kind of weird because still waiting for the details to come out on this, and it's just becoming to as the day kind of went on yesterday. You started seeing rumblings, and to get to the point of ready to fire him. We've done this with some teams before in the past. It's happened in the Big Ten this late in the football calendar, I suppose. You kind of saw it last year with Northwestern and David Braun being able to take over at this time and had a very successful season. So it's not necessarily, throw the Utah State season away, but for those players and for that team, it's quite a distraction, just a month away from fall camp opening up.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like the Illinois situation, not Illinois, but the Northwestern situation where it happened the first day of camp, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they had to turn that around pretty quickly.
So, but yeah, it's no stuff for that in college football, and we see how it's a program destroyer, and it happened to Baylor the same way after years of abuse and hiding things. So, hopefully things can get better over there in Utah State. Bach, when we talked about the teams and rankings and all the stuff in the Big Ten, I want to talk about this in the Big 12, the coaches rankings in the Big 12.
Coaches poll, interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Where you want to start at? Top? Let's start at the top.
The bottom's just literally the stuff. But yeah,
the bottom's going to be good.
Yeah.
Probably. All right, we're going to start at number 1 in the Big 12 coaching rankings. We have Kyle Whittingham from Utah.
Yeah.
Number 1. Great coach. Been there for years. He was at was he at Stanford for a minute? Or what school did he come from?
I think he was at Utah along with Urban Meyer, I believe, and
Okay.
took over there. He did play his ball, when he played ball back in the late 70s, early 80s at BYU.
Okay.
Which is, they have the Holy War. They have a hate for BYU in Utah, but no, he's been there for a long time now, since 2004, and has 162-79 record. Has done very good at Utah. If you remember, in 2008, they went undefeated. And then, they've done well to win the Pac-12 the last 3 years now, transitioning to the Big 12. And also keep in mind, they just named their defensive coordinator as coach in waiting. So
yeah, we know how that go.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm going to wait for 4 years to get this job,
Yeah.
but somebody came and offered me $7 million. Bach, I'm going to take that and leave. So we know how that's going to go.
Well, it's also interesting because Whittingham at least was rumored to have been involved or kind of a candidate for Nebraska. I believe was it the round of getting Mike Riley. And certainly if you look at and I don't know if Kyle Whittingham was too interested or not, obviously who knows what the program would look like if you would have hired him, 8 years ago or whatever it was.
Number 2, Lance Leipold,
Mm.
Kansas. Good one. Good hire for Kansas. I thought, everybody thought that Nebraska would make a push for him. Back-to-back bowl games for the Jayhawks. So pretty good thing.
Yeah, friend of early break. He comes on early break quite often, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. This offseason has been interesting because obviously the Nick Sabans and the Jim Harbaughs of the world leaving college football, and we've seen lists with Lance Leipold not at number 2 in the Big 12, number 2 overall, which I think is a little overdoing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, nobody has been able to win at Kansas since Mark Mangino.
Yeah, they was 10-2 when we was in school, Bach. They was ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, back in '95, they had.
I think that was Mason was the coach.
Yes, they had a few good years in the '90s, but after Mangino, they were going through Charlie Weiss and Turner Gill.
Yes.
They had a lot of different guys go in there and try to get an opportunity. Les Miles. Yeah. And nobody could get it done. And Lance Leipold has been able to turn it around to the point, they're 9-4 last year. So big respect to Lance Leipold. I like that.
Yeah. Number 3, Chris Kleiman. Kansas State, 19-8 in the last 2 years, 13-5 in the Big 12.
Absolutely. And he was a name too this last go round when Matt Rule was hired to kind of be in the mix for Nebraska. And I would have been happy with it. Chris Kleiman has done a fantastic job. Obviously, at North Dakota State, took over for
Craig Bowl
and won some titles there. I think 4 of them. And then the Big 12 championship a few years back. It's interesting, though, if you look at it, and I know Kansas State, tough place to maximize, wins, I suppose. But he might be, I don't want to say over it because they did win the Big 12 a couple years ago, but they still don't have a season. He'll be in his 6th year and doesn't have a season under 4 losses. So kind of the Bo Pelini effect somewhat hitting out there in Manhattan.
All right. Number 4, the crazy man, Mike Gundy.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. They started off a 10-win season. An appearance in the Big 12 game were crouched against blowout losses to South Alabama and USC last year.
Yeah.
UCF.
Yeah, South Alabama was weird, but they did turn it around, get 10 wins. Mike Gundy, just a staple in college football, and obviously they're down there in Stillwater. What's his record overall? 166-79. Hasn't had a losing record since his first season in 2005. So I mean, he's really got it going there, and that I'm interested now with the big bad Oklahoma and Texas out of the Big 12. This is the time for Gundy to make his move. It's crazy. It's just crazy how long he's been around. 56 years old. He's still got a lot of tread on those tires.
Plenty of time, but
yeah,
I don't know why he's so committed to that school, and he could have probably got jobs elsewhere, but he's committed. Like, you don't see that often these days. No. But he is a committed person.
He was born in Oklahoma, played at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Number 5, Sonny Dykes, TCU.
Interesting.
Yeah, me too. 5-7 last year. was in a national title game the year before that. But, you see what happened after you have one good year at the NIL and then you don't go back and compete in it like you did the first year. And this is what you get, 5-7 team.
It's weird because I do think that that's too high. Sonny Dykes taking TCU to the championship game was the most random thing that's happened in college football, I think, since I've been alive. And I say that because not just the TC aspect of it, but Sonny Dykes has had his run at major programs. California went 19-30 there in 4 years there, and it didn't work out there. Kind of rebounded with his run at SMU. To the point where they were, but the first year at TCU, take Sonny Dykes, that was an off-season hire where I was just like, okay, well, they got somebody in. That was coming off of firing their longtime, great coach that they had there in Gary Patterson. So I thought, I don't know if that's, I don't know if I'd make that move for Sonny Dykes. Proved me wrong the first year, but 5-7 last year. We'll see where they go. He could be going down in these rankings.
All right. Number 6. Matt Campbell, Iowa State. Had that one good year. I think that first year he coached there, was it pretty good?
He's had some good years there, but he's kind of fallen off as of late.
Yeah.
And to the point, again, he was a big name to watch at the beginning of the year. If you remember when Coach Frost was fired, it was like, all right, Matt Campbell's got to be in on this. And then his teams just kind of failed throughout the rest of the year. And they've been bit by the one possession losses as well over there in Ames. Bounced back from a 4-8 2022, which basically took him out of the Nebraska job running to go 7-6 there this past season. 9-3 was their best year in 2020 when they won the Fiesta Bowl. That's an incredible thing to do there at Iowa State. But still, we'll see where they go. I mean, early on in his tenure there, they were winning 8-9 games a year. Now trying to get back to it.
All right, number 7, Willie Fritz. Fritz went 23-4 his first 2 seasons at Tulane. Then he switched over here to a Houston team. They had a bad year last year, so hope this is his first what they call it, Power 5 job. I mean, Power 4 job.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes for him. I know Houston's they got a big overhaul on their roster, so we'll see how it turn out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good hire for them. And being able to win at Tulane, I think that makes a lot of sense. But like you said, Houston doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of preseason expectations, so you kind of get that first year kind of. It is what it is. I mean, if you can make something special out of it, you can jumpstart the program.
All right, number 8, Gus. How you say his last name? Malzahn. Yeah. USC got beat up pretty bad the first year in the Big 12 last year. So, I want to see how this Arkansas quarterback they got that transferred, KJ Jefferson. So it's going to be it's going to be kind of interesting to see that. But we got to see how this team adapts to the Big 12, though.
Yeah, if you remember, Gus Malzahn was the offensive coordinator for that championship team for Auburn. With Cam Newton. Then ended up getting the job and even took him to the national championship in his first year there. Things haven't worked out quite the same for him since then. Like you said, last year, that 6-7 finish for UCF, it's been a struggle for just about every team swapping conferences. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where he kind of finishes up there. I think that's a good spot for him.
Oh yeah. All right, number 9, Neil Brown, West Virginia. Didn't watch West Virginia pretty much last year, but was they 9-4 last year?
Well, he's young. He's 44 years old, and he was really on the hot seat going into last year. He did win enough. I think they did go 9-4 last year. This was after his tenure was 5-7, 6-4, 6-7, and 5-7 before that 9-4 year took place last year. So we'll see if West Virginia can get up. It's kind of interesting. They made that hire partially because of the success that he had at Troy in 2018. Troy finished 10-3 that year. If you remember, they also beat Nebraska that season. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe West Virginia finally, for years, I was kind of making fun of them because they thought they had done something by beating Scott Frost at Nebraska. And so that's why they took Neil Brown. But he's a young coach. We'll see if he can get it going now that he's got some momentum in his program.
All right. Who was that? All right. Number 10, Joey McGuire, the father of the receiver coach for the University of Nebraska at Texas Tech. 5-4 in the conference last year in each of his last 2 years.
Yeah. 8-5 2 years ago, 7-6 last year. Kind of par for the course for Texas Tech. I think at Texas Tech, even back when Mike Leach was there, it's kind of a 7 to 9 win program.
Yeah.
We'll see what they can do. I'm interested, obviously, like you said, with the connections to Nebraska and our wide receiver coach here. I'll cheer for him.
Yeah. Number 11, BYU. I can't even say they coach name. What's his name?
Let me look it up here. Yeah, because they got a new coach in Kalani Sitake.
Yeah. Ooh. Where did he come from?
I think he played his ball at BYU as well. Did not have a head coaching job before the BYU job. So that's kind of where he's at now. And of course they make their move to the Big 12 conference last year, struggle as well at 5-7. But he's had some good successful seasons there at BYU when they were independent. So again, it's just adjusting to the Big 12.
All right. Number 12. Hot seat guy. Baylor, Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda, wow.
Yeah, started off hot for one time, and now he's 9-16. After he, let me see. Aranda looked like a rising star in the head coaching rankings just 2 years ago, following a 12-2 season and a Sugar Bowl victory. Who is he with when that was?
He's with Baylor with Matt Rule's players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because that's the outlier, though. He's been there 4 years. They went 12-2, like you mentioned, and won the Sugar Bowl, finished in the top 5. And then his other 3 years, he's been 2-7, 6-7, and 3-9 last year. It got that bad. And again, 2 years ago, he was somewhat like Matt Campbell over there at Iowa State in the mix for the Nebraska job, but just couldn't win throughout that season. So it kind of took himself out of it. Definitely on the hot seat. Yeah. And Dave Aranda's a guy, back to his Wisconsin days, LSU. I mean, he's always had really good defenses. And so I always thought of him very highly as a prospect, as a head coach. And again, mixed results so far.
All right, we're just going to run through these last 5 or 4.
Yeah.
Arizona coach, Brent Brennan.
Yeah.
Bremen. Yeah. Okay. He's number 13. Arizona started off kind of bad last year, and then they got it together. They probably 8-9 game winning streak.
Yeah. They were one of the hottest teams in the country. Jed Fish used that, doing that well to get the Washington job this past year.
Oh yeah. So we'll check that out. 14, Scott Satterfield, Cincinnati.
I think I would have him absolutely last. I thought that was a terrible hire, and Cincinnati has gone from being in the college football playoff just very recently to, on the edge of, being one of the worst in the Big 10, or excuse me, in the Big 12. 3-9 is his first year. I suppose it's year 1, right? So you give him an opportunity to turn it around. But I didn't like the hire, and I don't like where their positioning is now.
15, Prime Time.
Oh, man.
Coach Prime is ranked the 15th best coach in the Big 12.
15th ranked coach in the Big 12?
Yeah.
How many teams in the Big 12?
16.
Well, I mean,
that's about where he needs. I don't know.
It's a short sample size, 4 and 8, 1 year. Yeah.
Was you just getting off the golf course?
I had a special 4th of July event that I had to attend for a little bit, and I won my match. And I made bogey on the last hole because I was thinking about Bach and you covering for me.
Yeah.
The other All-American, know. But sometimes you got to take it for the team.
Oh, yeah.
So I did today. I'm here. I'm here.
I took one for you. Yeah, at least you're here.
I'm here.
At least you show up. That's one thing that we can count on. Last person, Bach, who's the last coach? Arizona State.
Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, he's the 16th best coach in the Big 12.
Oh.
I hate to be the last.
That's fair. I mean, he's my age. He's 34 years old. Did have just, again, limited sample size.
Man, these coaches seem young.
I know.
We're just really getting old. They seem young.
Yeah, 34 is young to be a college coach.
Wow. Making millions, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably making a million. Looking at their record.
Who's the favorite in
Utah?
Oh, yeah.
They barely edged out Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
I see that.
But you're talking about a Utah team that beat USC twice.
Yeah.
And quarterback was hurt all last year. So he comes back and redeems himself and probably make it to the playoffs. Who knows?
So Utah will beat the Huskers if we played?
It
At
depends.
this point, I would think so. Yeah.
I mean, you
They'd
never
be
know.
favored.
We talk good about the Huskers, and
we do. We always do.
But you know,
I don't. I thought it was fair.
They have to go out there and plan their own work. They have to go out there and do their own work, and don't expect us to talk them into a victory.
Exactly.
And it's all done on the field. I mean,
That's why I don't speculate too much.
Yeah, I never speculate. Just play the game.
Play the game.
That's it. So,
Hey, just like I told you I've been kicking the black shirts butt with the yard. Did he talk to you about that?
A little
Did
bit. He
come in?
mentioned it
He
a
mentioned
little
it
bit, yeah.
just a little bit.
Says you're
I was
waking him
killing-
up. You're
but
waking him up.
He went out and got some hired help now, so he's
I
catching up
told
with
him.
me.
I talked about that the other day. I said
Yeah.
I know he was gonna.
I'm out there. I'm out there sweating away, and he's out there directing. You know,
Yeah.
Get
I don't even know the lady down the street. Hey, Judy, whatever her name was. Yeah, the black shirt, he gave up.
I said the offense was killing the number one defense.
Oh,
Just killing them. Had to call for some backup.
I told
They
you.
had to go in the portal and get some help.
Yeah, I had to go get a portal grass cutter.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys gonna continue your grass wars throughout the rest of the summer?
I'm way ahead.
He way ahead. I'm in the start over phase. So once I get my weeds out of there,
He has too many jobs. I
Yeah.
only have one or two. He
Yeah.
has 3 or 4.
he hasn't even changed the grandbaby yet. So have you ever changed?
I have not. Now I have
you?
not.
When the last-
That's the best thing about being a grandfather.
I'll change my grandbaby.
No, I have not. I've never changed a boy.
Yeah.
I'm always front to back. I'm always front to back. I know. I don't want to screw it up, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to mess.
hey.
I don't want to mess them up.
Hey, just the thing about you wiping yourself. You wipe the baby the same way. Hey,
Okay.
you not saying that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me get off
Yeah.
that topic.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. No, Little Nas was over the other day. He's coming over today.
Yeah.
4th of July, so he'll be over today. He's looking good. No, there's a little war going on right now. So,
What's the war?
well,
Steve?
Ty wants him to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
I want him to be a golfer.
Well, and I
So he-
understand this because my dad always told me this.
Yeah.
Grandparents kind of overrule the parents.
Oh, we will for sure.
Yeah, so
He's gonna hate it.
you have to.
Yeah.
I'm for real because I
No.
overrule my son because he still needs money.
Well,
so that's
Yeah.
the only reason I win.
Unfortunately, Ty's already beefing, right? Because I'm a football player and football's king, right?
Yeah,
Football's king. So he doesn't
Are
like
you
that.
ready for a new
And now I'm like, he's going to be a golfer. And he's going to want to golf with granddad all the time. He's going to
Yeah.
love it. He's not going to care about basketball.
Mm.
So he's
So
trying
you
to,
got-
so he's trying to double down.
you and Ty got to play bones or something. See how y'all gonna get this settled right here.
Well, I got the girl. He married he's with my daughter. So in the end, she better go this way. Ty's only going to be here for so long. He's going to be doing so much.
Yeah, he's still playing overseas.
Oh yeah, he leaves. He's going to go back to Australia here sometime in September, October.
Oh yeah, he'd
Yeah.
be gone for a long time.
He'll be gone for a long time.
Says, hey, look, you put him on. Hey, look,
Yeah,
you
but-
put him on a golf rule jersey and send a picture to him.
They will be over there for a little bit, then they're coming back. I'm going to have a lot of time.
Yeah.
He's going to watch golf, see golf. That's all he's going to hear is about golf.
Okay.
And then he's going to hear about Husker football. So Ty, he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. First of all, when he leaves, the baby's going to a football game.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Tailgating and everything is, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Either retire or
Yeah.
or think what's best.
Yeah.
So,
What? I missed you. What did you say now?
I say either he gonna have to retire.
Yeah, he's swimming uphill. He's in Nebraska. First of all,
Yeah.
he's going to be in Nebraska a lot. And football's king.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything. He gets it from everyone else. I don't say anything. And Ty just hates that.
Well, we got to see if the basketball team is going to be better than they was last year. So,
Well, they will be, but still, football's king. There's nothing like tailgating and football. That's all it is.
oh
He
yeah,
could probably threaten you just to take the whole family back to New Zealand. As he talked
He's
about
still,
that,
That's all they're going to talk about is Husker football.
Oh, yeah. he still can work on it.
Are you ready for a new opportunity?
I think this commercial keeps going.
Yeah,
off.
what's
All right,
up,
well,
man?
we better
Come
go to
on.
commercial, I guess.
Yeah.
all right,
Come
take me
on.
to break box so I can get out of here.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Told you I got a date with some Call of Duty. Yeah,
Call it grass duty.
whatever. Get out of here.
That's not the
See,
call.
yes, that's his other
Maybe-
job. That's his other job, playing video games.
Yeah,
I'm out there working.
Look,
He's
maybe
in there playing video games.
Maybe I should take your little golf stick and knock the little twigs out my yard. Is that easy? Your little putter.
Oh,
Is
you probably miss every time. You whiff.
Hey, I'm gonna get out there with you one day. Watch.
All right, come out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This is Weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. We'll be back after the break.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey, future Hall of Famers. It's 3-time national champion Rashawn Jackson here to let you know about the Youth Running Backs Camp held on July 6th at the Lincoln Sports Foundation. Come learn from some of the biggest names in football of the state, including Amir Abdullah, Amon Green, Terrell Farley, Demorne Pearson-Nell, Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Todd Euler, Kenny Bell, and myself. And get a free t-shirt with sign up. Please visit theticketfm.com to register. That's theticketfm.com to register. Space is limited, so don't miss your chance. See you there and go Big Red.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors. Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Coppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now on Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at CoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on Weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor, and I want to get into a bit of a discussion surrounding Nebraska football and Coach Matt Rhule's latest appearance in front of the media, the nation's media here, with Joel Klatt. A few things that we can kind of listen to and discuss, but I did want to start one of the themes, I suppose, that Matt Rhule has kind of been talking about and was talking about in this interview was kind of trying to say going from losing football to winning football and then into championship football. And so he's kind of said that the biggest jump that they could have will probably be from year 2 to year 3 from winning football, or the plan is from winning football to championship football. Maybe that can happen ahead of time. For you, I've always heard with a player, the biggest jump is usually from freshman to sophomore. Was that kind of how your experience was?
Yeah, I would say so. And I would probably say maybe for me it was my sophomore year, but it was really like my freshman year, because I would say the biggest jump is from your freshman year to your sophomore year. Mm-hmm. There's a huge leap, and depending on how much playing time you get, and then depending on what the Huskers are doing recruiting wise and their schedule and that kind of stuff. So yeah, year 2 you should see a definite leap. You should separate yourself. You should really see what we could be in the future. So I would say that I would agree with that. For sure.
I also just found it interesting because I know they have a young Dylan Raiola, and that's part of the discussion.
See, and that's the difference right now, because he's going to be a freshman. You're not coming back, but you're going to have Double H coming back.
Yeah.
But will he be the starter or not? So I don't know. I don't know if they're quite going to make that jump this year. I think they can get to 500.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where would you put that on the scale of winning football?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that winning football.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless you're, 8-9 wins maybe.
This year?
Yeah, if they got to 8-9, you can consider that's a winning football.
That is definitely, and that's a realistic goal.
Yeah.
That could happen, but they got to get off to a good start with the first 5 or 6 games.
Absolutely. Easier said than done. It's nice for us to sit back in the studio and say, yeah, they could win.
Yeah, and I don't want to get the expectations too high.
Yeah.
It'd be a different scenario, and maybe Raiola can have a year like Martinez had, which was kind of, you don't really know what's going on. You're just kind of reacting until then you start figuring out what then you got some pressure on you and everything. So we're going to see how the quarterback position shapes up.
Yeah. It's fascinating. All just the expectation part of it too, is because I know some people, I kind of try to keep my feet to the ground and kind of think, okay, where have they been? Where do they need to go? How do they get better? So that's why I kind of get to that 7-8 wins. I know some people that will, even though Nebraska hasn't been to a bowl game in 8 years, will say 10 wins is a standard at Nebraska, and we're not dropping it, because if you drop it, then you're going to allow, that standard to drop.
When I look at the schedule, I'm realistic. But I also look at it as if these are the games that you have to be if you want to be in the conversation. I mean, the conversation of contending in your conference or whatever conference, however they're going to have it. So when I look at the schedule, I look at the teams that the must wins, the must wins. So, and if they do that, they will have a 500 season and maybe a couple over that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be in that winning program and then maybe dominance or whatever he said, then those are teams that you're going to have to beat. So,
well, what do you think? I think a lot of people, and he's kind of spelled it out a little bit too, is that, they were so bad with turnovers last year that if you address that could probably take them from a losing program to a winning program. What's that next step? And instead of waiting a year and, getting to the championship competing program in year 3, how do you think they could really, step it up and be a contender in year 2?
They talked about the turnovers so much. You can always say the what ifs, right? What if that was just one aspect of what they were they were definitely hurting themselves with that. Now, if they wouldn't have turned the football over, would they have won those games? We don't know, right?
Mhm.
But you do have to take care of that, and you can't have those type of mistakes. Now, the defense played pretty consistently last year. Hopefully that will continue. Hopefully they don't have that sophomore, what they call it, sophomore slump,
Sophomore
right?
slump, yeah.
So if they can continue to get better, they lost a couple of key players, but they can continue to get better, and offense just kind of maintain and gradually get better and better week in and week out, then we can see what we can do. The whole variable really is going to be the quarterback play. Or I would probably say early on you would have a better chance with Double H of winning those close games. So we're going to see how they approach that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a learning curve for Raiola, and we just won't know until we see them on the field.
Oh, it'll certainly be exciting. They also talked about that Colorado game. Of course, Joe Klatt, a former Colorado quarterback, it's just the nation's spotlight is going to be on that. So Dylan Raiola or maybe Harbaugh, whatever's going on in that game, really has a chance to kind of elevate not just the Nebraska program, but they're kind of their own.
That's going to be a huge game.
Yeah.
The more I think about this, I like Nebraska that we are at home. I would say I would probably favor Colorado just because of their quarterback position. He's an experienced quarterback. He's not going to make too many mistakes. Now I don't know what type of defense they're going to have, but offensively I think they do pose a threat with some. They have some athletes. I think they can score some points. And Shedeur is not gonna hurt you unless he just has a horrible day, and that's just not in his.
He only had 3 picks.
Yeah,
last
exactly.
Year.
That's not
sacked like 58 times.
That's not his history, and if we can get to him. So, but I do like the home field advantage. It's going to be a big game, so I'm thinking the energy would be favoring the Huskers in that regard. But I think that's a very winnable game. But then again, I also think that Colorado will probably come out victorious just because they're gonna be in that second season and where. Well, I guess Rule is kind of there as well, But I think they had a little bit more success with what they were doing in teams that they beat. But it's the writing's on the wall for the Huskers. It's there for them to do it, but we just don't know what we're going to get until we open up the box of chocolates.
Yeah,
we really don't.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, that's for sure. Here's Rule talking about the experience on his roster. Again, this was with Joel Klatt the other day.
I think there's experience, and as we move forward in the college football playoff era, depth, you're going to be playing 17 games.
Yes.
So, while an NFL team has a 53-man roster, there's unlimited transactions. So it might take 90 guys to have 53 men. For us, what's unique about us is I think we have like 19 returning starters. We also have 82 freshmen and sophomores. So we are.
I remember talking about that before the Colorado game, and I was like, wait, is that number real?
It's wild. So we have these like really, and it was a blessing for us. 3 of our best players, Ben Scott, Bryce Benhart, Isaac Gifford, all decided to come back, forgo the NFL. Ty Robinson, really 4 guys that had draftable grades decided to not go to the NFL. I told some of them, I'm like, you should go to the NFL, bro. What are you doing? And they're like, no, I want to come back. And so I have this elite experience that's really talented and also a bunch of really good young players that are watching them. So that's why I think we can win this year because of that experience. And then those young players are going to be experienced the following years. And that kind of is how, to me, you build something that eventually can hopefully make that jump to be in the college football playoff conversation.
You hear that makes it again. It's coming off a 5-7 season, again, a program that struggled, but it's so interesting. They have 19 returning starters, many of them seniors, and 82. This includes walk-ons, but 82 redshirt freshmen or true freshmen on the football team.
I think he's spot on. I think his vision is there, but I think was he talking 4 or 5 years from now? I mean, that's when I see those young guys in their 3rd or 4th year and maybe 5th year being the difference maker. I don't see us anywhere close to college playoffs in the next year or 2. I mean, I just don't see that. It could possibly happen, but that's a quantum leap. I think that's a quantum leap. I got to see how it's going to shape up in the Big Ten. Where are we going to be in that? That means if you're there, that means you're in the top 2 or 3 in the Big Ten. I don't see that for us. I think we're probably at the best right now, middle of the road, if that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe 3, 4, 5 years out, I think we may be in that college playoff conversation. If it happens before that, that's great. You never know. I think it's taken Texas a few years to get there. And that's because of their quarterback and what they've done. So if we're on that track, I get that. But next year, I'm just hoping that we can get to 500 and slightly above that. And then maybe a year or two after that, when Raiola's in his second or third year, we may be in contention, for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
Then you may be you're in the playoff conversation.
Well, and a lot of it too, and Rule did talk a lot. Kind of talks about the game overall, not just Nebraska. So he also did talk about a little bit of the roster makeup for college football playoff teams.
I think the one thing that I always think about, and kind of what I said earlier about playing a 17-game season, is there's more access now to the college football playoff. It's not as much about getting to the college football playoff. I mean, it is for us right now. I'm saying for the teams that have been there, it's about building a team that can win it, that can get hot and win at the end of the year, that has enough depth, that has playmakers that are healthy at the end of the year. So roster makeup is going to be more important now, in my opinion, than ever before. And we're trying to take our experience from the NFL and try to take that to college and hope that it works.
Interesting with that.
Yeah. Well, and that's true. I mean, I think he continues to hit on depth, which I think is a huge step for Nebraska. And I think they're pretty lined up pretty well. I think the depth at wide receiver is good. I think just about every position outside of quarterback, actually, on offense, you're still kind of looking who's going to break out at wide receiver, who's going to break out at running back, but you got a lot of depth there. It's tight end the same way.
It is interesting that he has that. It's kind of almost a reverse. When I really heard that, it's kind of a reverse way to think about it. Because one instance, you're talking about having depth, but then you're talking about having skillful players and playmakers that's going to make a difference. And you're comparing that to the NFL. So your approach is, yes, depth is always key, but you got to keep your starters have to stay healthy. Your main guys have to stay healthy. So I would concentrate more so on, and I'm just an armchair quarterback, of having my starters, my core group, those guys being healthy. But depth is important, but you need your guys, your playmakers out there consistently for 16 or 17 games.
Yeah.
But you want to have depth just in case if someone goes down. So in that regard, you're protecting your core players, your star players. They're not being exposed. You're getting them out of the game. You're looking at longevity. So it's kind of an oxymoron, I think, with that a little bit, because the rosters are smaller in NFL, right? Versus collegiate. And then also you look at the portal and you have to retain those star players. That's why I think depth will be a key, but you're going to have to keep your star players, your all conference players, your guys that may go to the league, like he said, they're coming back. And those guys have to produce and get hot and get on a run. That's how it works when you win it all. Who's hottest at the end. So it's an interesting approach because you can't get everyone ready. You cannot get everyone ready. And although Rule has a great system and what he's done, guys are getting rep, they're getting that experience. But it's nice to have a young team to make that leap. Nice to have some depth, but you got to stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's the key. You got to stay healthy.
It's interesting because they'd have had a combination of kind of both kind of being the problem. Like you said, they just haven't had absolute star players. There's some players that we like. Yeah. But as far as all conference,
we haven't been close to.
They just haven't had, and maybe one here and there, but they just have not in the last 8 years had that much.
And you're gonna need about a dozen of those, 6 or 7 of those on offense, and same thing on defense. And obviously the more the merrier.
Yeah, that's how Nebraska was back in the day. Yeah. It sounds like, man, that's a reach. How are they going to get there? That's how it is. That's how it was. That's how Ohio State and Michigan are. That's how Oregon is. That's how Nebraska was back in the day.
Yeah, but your players have to stay healthy throughout the whole year. I mean, you saw what happened to Texas quarterback when he got banged up, but your starters, they got to stay healthy. And it's nice to have some guys that can step in and carry the load and not have a huge drop off. I think that's the key. And then you got to retain the players, in this portal.
Yeah. And Nebraska did get a big get this past week with cornerback Sayer Wright from USC. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. We got more Husker football to talk about coming up next year on Weekly Wrap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for The Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shout out to our friends at Good Sense for providing us lunch today. We usually do it on Fridays. It's Good Sense on Fridays. Just makes more sense. But since we're off on Friday this week, we got our meals delivered to us for Wednesday. So thanks again to Good Sense for that. And we were talking a little bit, too, about Matt Rule and program building and where they need to go there. He actually did kind of talk about benchmarking building a program, which was kind of what I was talking about, going from a losing program to a winning program to a championship program. But we can hear it in his own words here. Again, this was his talk when he sat down with Joel Klatt for about 30 minutes. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube or anything like that and find it. It's a good conversation. But here's Matt Rule talking about the benchmarks in building a program.
Yeah, I just expect us to make a massive jump from year 1 to year 2, and I expect our best jump to be from year 2 to year 3. You know, I think you go from playing losing football to winning football to championship football. The question I've said the whole time since I've been at Nebraska to our guys is, you know, make year 2 year 1, make year 3 year 2. Like, let's not go through the 2 and 10. Let's not fight or why are we doing this? Just buy into it and do it. And in many ways, last year was like a second year for me. So I expect us to have a really good team this year. I expect us to make some runs. I expect us to be a team that people don't want to play. And so now as we look at, you know, college football now, you know, I always want us to win a bowl game. I want us to be in the conference title race, and I want us to fight to go play in the college football playoff and then win it.
Yeah.
And so where we are there, I certainly expect us to be a bowl eligible team. Can we be a team that challenges to go play in the college football playoff? I don't know. I think if we weren't minus 17, if all of a sudden that was plus 7, we might make some noise. And so, you know, that's really my challenge to the guys is like, hey, let's fix the turnover issue. Let's get really good on offense to match our defense, and then we'll go play. We'll see what happens.
Do you like that kind of attitude? It's kind of interesting, especially on the national stage, to say, are we good enough to win?
I
don't know.
First of all, let me clarify. I think Rule has done an absolutely fabulous job.
Yeah.
And he's doing everything to do exactly what he said. He go from losing football to winning football to championship football. I'm on board with him. I think he can do it. I hope he's around for the championship football. I think he can take us from a losing program to a winning program. Now, do we keep him? Does he stay here if that's happening? Which I hope is the case. And you look at his track record, he's done that in the past, but we haven't seen that third phase.
Yeah.
He's gone from losing football to winning football, and then he's gone,
The
right?
next job, yeah.
Then he's
That's the
gone,
next
right?
step
So,
of his, yeah.
that's where I'm sort of losing him a little bit with that, because I hope he's here for that. I think he can do it. I think his work, what he's doing right now, is outstanding. He's done a great job. The roster is 100 times better than what it was a year ago or 2 years ago for sure. So he's doing everything that you need to do to get to where he wants to get to, and I hope he's around. And that's going to be by his own making, I think, to really be competitive for a conference championship. And then you do that, then you're in a conversation for the playoffs. He's right on point. I think he's a little aggressive. I mean, I think we can take a good leap. I don't know if it could be a huge leap, but to me, what's a huge leap? A huge leap to me is not 6-7 games. A huge leap would be 9-10 games. Do I see that this year? I don't necessarily see that this year. I think if we get to, I'm being realistic, we can get to 500 or slightly above. I think that's a good solid jump. I don't think it's a quantum leap, which is what he wants. I think that can happen in maybe year 2 or year 3 of rules administration. So I'm with him 100%, and I know he's just talking right now, but I see his vision, and he's doing the things that you need to do to get there. I just don't see it happening as fast, or either as fast as he would like it to happen.
Yeah.
But then again, it could. Things fall in place. You get on a run, it could happen.
Yeah.
But I'm being ultra conservative.
You've had your heart broken a few times, haven't you?
Not even broken. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see it first.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see it first. Then I can say, okay, then I think we can take that leap.
Yeah.
Until I see that, then I'm just saying, no, let's just win the games that you probably should win, and that'll get you 6-7 wins.
Well, and a lot of it is,
Yeah.
again, it's just on that offensive side of the ball. I think Nebraska fans are smart because they have seen winning football
But I'm not
if they're old enough.
But I'm not going to put it so much. It is. Offense was deplorable.
It was awful last
It
year.
was awful
Yeah.
last year. Defense, we were good, and that made our defense look a little better because we were so poor on offense.
Yeah.
The thing is that defense as well is going to have to get better and better. And I don't know if they can take that jump. I think the coaching staff is there to do it. I'm going to have to see it. And, you have to account for it. Sometimes when kids, there's no pressure on you and everything, then you kind of play free and you don't really know. But when once the nation starts seeing what you have and what you can do, things tighten up a little bit. So I got to see what they do this year. If defense can continue to grow or get better and not go backwards, then that's a good thing. But they're going to have to make that jump as well. Offense needs to make a quantum leap. And I'm going to have to see that on the field.
And it's interesting if you go through his time at Temple and Baylor. Those year ones, as we know, were rough. 2-10 and 1-11, and his year one at Nebraska was 5-7, so closer to that 500 ball. His second years at Temple were 6-6 and 7-6. So if you're looking at second year expectations, of those programs was just above 500. But it's interesting because from there he talks about making year two, year three, jumping the progression a year.
Yeah.
He did take two teams already from 500 ball, 6-6 Temple in 2014 to 10-4 Temple in 2015.
That could happen. I mean,
Did
that's
the same at Baylor. Yeah, 7-6
that's his
in
record.
2018, 11-3 in 2019.
Yeah.
So
the only thing is that this is not the Temple.
Yeah, it's not Temple or Baylor.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that still is the big what, the Big 8 or Big 12, whatever it was.
Yeah, the Big
at
12
the
for
time.
Temple, yeah. Or excuse me, for Baylor.
I think
American for
that
Temple.
the competition is a little stiffer. I think a little bit. But then again, I could be wrong. It's there. It
It's
can happen.
possible. Yeah.
He's getting us all pumped up about it, and he can do it. First of all, he's done it, and he can do it, and his work to this date has been awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
And I'll always say
A good conversation to have.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
what we've had in the past. I mean, with the previous administration, they
Yeah.
had 5 years and they never made any type of leap.
Yeah. It is. It feels like there's less of a ceiling on Nebraska this
When
year.
you really think about that, he's saying what he's done already within a year or two, and what the previous administration couldn't do in 5 years. That's
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
I will forever question how they got a fifth year.
So
in
you're
there,
right.
but,
I'm still a little butthurt from that. So you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm still a little hurt.
This has been Weekly Wrap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. We hope you enjoyed the holiday. We will be back next Wednesday to talk some more Husker football with the All-American Steve Taylor. We'll do that next weekend. Happy Hour coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares this same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric